name's Kristen Boddy and I'm an IELTS teacher at Viva College in Brisbane. Today in Spotlight on IELTS, we're continuing our series talking about the IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. So far in this series, we've talked about different types of data, including a line graph, a map, a process, and today we're talking about these circles here, which are called pie charts. So let's quickly review the rules that you need to follow in every writing task 1. To begin with, you have 20 minutes to write this task. So if you spend more than 20 minutes, it won't leave you enough time to complete task 2. So you have to be very disciplined. After 20 minutes, stop writing and move on. The other important thing to remember is that you have to write 150 words. If you write more, that's not a problem. But if you write less, you will be penalized. So make sure you don't write any less than 150 words. Okay, so some of the tasks ask you to describe pie charts. And a lot of people feel nervous when they see pie charts because they don't understand the data. But trust me, it's actually simpler than you think. Here are a couple of rules that you need to remember when you're describing this kind of data. The first thing is, usually you need to talk about changes over time. So often you might be given 2 or 3 pie charts and they might show a period of 10-year difference between each pie chart, in which case you'll need to describe how the numbers have changed from the first to the last period. The second thing is that you will need to make comparisons, and this is what a lot of students forget. What they simply do is describe the data in each pie chart, but they don't compare the data. So you need to use words like while, whereas, and in contrast to talk about the differences that you see. The next important thing is, how do you describe the numbers in a pie chart? A lot of people feel nervous when they see the numbers and they don't know how to describe them. So there's actually 2 ways. The first way is to describe the numbers as a percentage, 20%, 50%, 80%, and usually in the pie chart they will actually show you the percentage symbol. The other way that you can describe the numbers is using fractions. And I've given you a couple of examples here. So every percentage is equivalent to a fraction. Let's have a look at this first pie chart. Here we see that the circle is divided into 4 sections, which means that each section is equal. In this case, we can say that each section is made up of 1/4 of the total pie chart, or 25%. When you divide 100 by 4, you get 25. In this diagram here, we can see that we have 2 sections in the circle, which means that each section represents half of the circle or pie chart, or 50%. In the final one here, we can see that the pie chart is divided into 5 equal sections, or 20%, or into fifths. Okay, so if you're describing the numbers, don't just say 50, 25, 20. Make sure that you label them either with the percentage or describe them as a fraction. The final piece of advice that I want to give you is, when you're describing the different parts of the pie chart, you must talk about each section of the pie chart. Often there's one category that is called other, and a lot of students forget to talk about this category. It's important to remember that you still need to talk about this category, even though it might seem insignificant because it's simply called other. Let's quickly summarize what we've talked about today. So when you're describing pie charts, usually you need to describe changes over time. You need to make sure that you make comparisons between the pie charts, talk about similarities and differences, and use linking words like while, whereas, and in contrast. When you're describing the numbers, don't just write the number. You need to make sure that you write the percentage symbol, or that you describe the number using fractions. And finally, when you're talking about the data inside the pie chart, make sure that you don't forget to talk about a category that's called Other. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name's Kristen Boddy and I'm an IELTS teacher at Viva College in Brisbane. If you have any questions or would like to make some comments, leave them in the comments section below. I hope that you can join us again next time for Spotlight on IELTS. Bye for now.